Today I'm taking you through a high top skin fade tutorial. This is the haircut I see so many barbers get wrong. So come with me on this in-depth tutorial where I tell you how to avoid those mistakes, how to get it right, and how to produce a great haircut. And during the process, if you like what you see, click subscribe. Enough of the talking, let's get into the cut. So I'm just gonna start off by combing all of his hair out just to untangle all of that. And then I'm gonna bring it down. I'm gonna do a number 4 going with the grain all around. Now, this is just very simple. Close the lever and go through the hair. Once you've combed it out properly, it'll be easy to go through. Then I'm just going to debulk the side. So right here, I'm just debulking the side to make it easier to do the fade. Sometimes people bring it down gradually. This is a 1.5. It's just simple. Just take it all flat up to your invisible line, which is where the top starts. Put your skin line in, which is what I'm doing right now, where my fade will end, because where you put your skin line in is where your fade will end, and where the fade starts will be towards the top. So where you can see all that bulk of hair, I'm going to reduce that and I'm going to create some shape with the hair. So right now I'm actually shaping the hair, but also I'm just using number 2 to flatten this area, and then I'm going to drop down to the 1.5 to further flatten this area. And look, we've got kind of a blend a bit at the top. Well, not kind of a blend, it is a blend. So something to understand when you're doing a fade. A fade is literally just going from one level to another in a smooth transition. So when I'm doing the fade, you'll see me do these steps which are invisible, which will be like me going to, as example, one stage which is at the side of the top of the head, which will be, let's say, a 1.5. Then I drop down a little bit, then that'll be the number 1. Drop down a little bit, the open blade. Drop down a little bit, close the lever a little bit, and keep going until you're on the skin line fading it out. So when you're doing a fade, just understand you're going from one level down to another level in a smooth transition. When you go up to that level, always flick out. If you don't flick out, what will happen is you'll go up to the level, stop, and you create another line. So it's important to flick out, because the flick out helps when you're fading. So like I said, fade is just going from one level to another in a smooth transition. So I'm going to do this fade in parts. We're going to start off with the open blade barrier that I'm doing right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all of that is taken down and it's a relatively clean line, not too clean. Then I'm just going to reduce the lever ever so slightly. See what I'm doing right here? Then I'm going to go up to just where I made the open blade barrier, just underneath it, and flick out. Do this a number of times, guys. You know, maybe once, 2, 3, 4 times. Don't overdo it. Then you move on. Then you're going to close the lever even more, because I'm closing the lever even more, going down a little bit further, and then I'm going to go up to that invisible line and flick out. So you saw my finger what I did. I showed you where I went to first, which was just underneath that open blade barrier. Now I'm going to go down a little bit lower, go to it and flick out. It's always important to flick out. Close the lever a bit more. I'm closing it a bit more. Now I'm going to go to slightly lower than where I was just previously and keep going up to it and flick out. Flick out, flick out, flick out, flick out, flick out, flick out. Hopefully you're getting what I'm saying right now. Close the lever even more. So look, I'm just closing it fully, then opening it ever so slightly, and now I'm just going to flick out on that skin line. And this is actually how you fade out a skin line. A simple, easy to do method. And this style of cutting as well is for beginners. If you're a beginner, follow this technique because it's the easiest way to go through a haircut. Now I need to fade in the top part. So my invisible line is where I'm not going to go above, because if I go too high, I'll be way up in his hair and I don't want that. So with the open, we close 1.5. I'm just going to go up to my invisible line and flick out. So that invisible line is where you go to and flick out. I'm using the closed number 1.5. I do this a number of times, and then what I'm going to do now is stop and then drop down to the number 1. Now what I'll do first is just flatten the area which I'm going to be fading, going with the grain, comb it out and flatten the area that I'm fading. Then I'm going to flick it around. Then I'm going to do the open 1.5, then go up to my invisible line. Now my next invisible line is going to be slightly lower than where my previous one was. My previous one was at the highest I want it to be. My next one's going to be slightly lower. So with the open blade, I go to it and flick out. Comb it out, then go to the same place and flick out. It's important to set those invisible lines, and it's important to comb out the hair in between, and it's important to flick out. Now I'm going to close the lever, which I've done already, and then go up to the same place and flick out. Keep going to that same place, flick out. Look at my clipper strokes, just going through and flicking out. Go through, flicking out. I'm not forcing it. I'm not being hard with it, I'm just being light with it, and it's fading out. Now drop down to the open blade. I flatten the area which I'm going to be fading. I always do this. And then I'm going to flick it around and set my next invisible line. Now you can see already it's basically blended. So my invisible line is just going to be above where the original open blade was. I'm going to go through that barrier and flick out where I set the barrier originally and flick out. Look how light I'm being with my flicks. I don't have to do a lot because you can see it's basically blended already from what I did previously. So this is just light flicks, guys. And there we have it. We have a fade. Now I'm going to run over it a couple more times just to make this area a little bit cleaner, but I'm not going to spend too long on this, because if you spend too long on it, you end up getting all flustered and you end up spending so much time on one area. When you move to the next area, you feel exhausted, you feel flattened. It's just long. So trust me, don't spend too long on any area. Just get it to a decent level and move on. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just moving on to the next area. I'm going to do the back, the other side, and do exactly what I did on the other side. The shape up is important when you start the shape up to create a light line so that you've got something to go off. You don't have to make it sharp at all. You just need to create something to go off. It's like tracing paper. Once you've got that line there, it's like, okay, cool. You can step back and look at it and say, okay, I'll make it sharper there. The angle's wrong there. I can improve it there, because you've got something to go off. You don't need to get it right in one round. To be honest, I do about 5 rounds, but I would tell barbers probably do about 3 to 4 rounds, in my opinion. Just combing it out, making it sharper, making it cleaner. And also, the more you go over the shape up, the longer the shape up will last, and the more prominent the shape up will be. Because often what happens is people do a shape up and then it's like, oh, it looks good. But when the client goes home, washes their hair or combs it out, the shape up's gone. And that's because you only did 1 round or maybe 2 rounds. I suggest doing about 4 rounds. I do about 5 or 6, but you know, there's no rules on how many you should do. But just do multiple rounds, combing it out, going over it, so that it's not only sharp, but it's also lasting longer. So I'm just going to lower the front. Some call it a taper. It is a taper. I'm tapering the front, but just ever so slightly, because I want the front to still be dark and heavy. So I'm using the 1.5 and I'm going with the grain and just lightly dropping the edges. For me, this will make the shape up hold for longer and last for longer. But make sure to ask the client, because not everybody likes it. So start from the middle, press down, pull away from the hairline, and I'm going to go straight across in a straight line to go to where I will start the sideline. Now, to be honest, what I should have done is I should have started with a sideline first, because I always feel like for beginner barbers, it is better to start with a sideline and then go from the front line to meet the sideline. I've done it the other way. If you're an advanced barber, do it however you want to do it. But for beginner barbers, don't do it this way. Do it the other way. Start with the sideline and then do the front line. The key in this is to make sure that you're going in a straight line. Just make sure wherever you start, press down, pull away from the hairline, and just go across in a straight line. It doesn't matter if the hairline is not straight or it's not sharp. On the first round, we're just trying to get some type of shape that we can go off. And then in the next rounds, round 2, round 3, round 4, however many rounds that you do, then we'll start trying to make it sharper, cleaner, and straight. But for now, we just want a decent shape and something to go off. As you can see, I like to go over my shape ups quite a few times, because I feel like the shape up completes the haircut. And I feel like a standard fade with a great shape up is a good haircut, but an amazing fade with a standard shape up isn't so good of a haircut. So that's why I go over it so many times. And I will go over it again later, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to curl up his hair. And then after that, I'm going to comb it out, refine the haircut, and go over the shape up to make sure that it sits good in the style that I've done. So I'm just wetting his hair with water. This is nothing special. Sometimes people say, what's in that water bottle? No, what's in that bottle? It's water. It's nothing special, guys. You can do this at home yourself. Tap water is fine. You don't even need to do any of the special filtered water. Tap water is fine. And then when you're curling the hair, a tip is to make sure you go in the same direction the whole time, because sometimes people would go in one direction, stop, move to the next area, and then they start going the opposite way. What you're doing is you're uncurling the curl that you have done. and you're messing up the curl pattern. So if you're gonna go clockwise the whole way, or if you're gonna go anti-clockwise the whole way. The hair's looking good, but as you can see, it's out of place. So what I'm going to have to do in the next step is refine the haircut to make sure it looks good and sits well in the style that he will be wearing it in. So just look at it, you can see all the hair there, you can see that it's a little bit not as smooth, so let's go over it. When it comes to refining, I always tell people, wait to the end. Don't do it in the first stage. Just get through the haircut and at the end, come back onto it. So you'll see like darker spots in the fade. You'll see maybe that part's a bit too light. Maybe that part came out a bit too high. Maybe you left a piece of hair around the neck. You can do that at the end, because what happens is if you do it on the first stage, you finish an area, it's perfect. And then you're like, oh, you turn your head around, it's like, oh my goodness, I've got all this work to do. And it just becomes tedious and it becomes hard work. So my advice is just get through the haircut and at the end, refine it. Darker spots, take it out. Left some hair around the neck, take it off, around the ear. Do all of that stuff there then, and it's a lot easier. So get through the haircut, then refine it at the end. Refining, guys. I always talk about refining because I feel like this is one of the most important things to do in a haircut. Refine it. You don't have to spend so long in the process of the haircut. Just get through it. And then at the end, look at what can be improved. So I'm slightly flattening the front hairline more than I did before, because I'm looking at it saying, I think we can go lower and this will look better and the shape up will hold better if it's slightly lower. I've gone over the sides as well to make it smoother, and now I'm going over the shape up. I have to apologize, guys, because my hand is blocking some of what I'm doing. But what I'm doing right now is just fading out his sideburns. He doesn't want his sideburns shaped up at all, so he just fades them out at the top. But if you look at the fade, guys, and look at the shape up, you can see that the fade and the shape up are looking better. And that's because I've refined the haircut. And I haven't done that much to it. I've just gone over it just a little bit, just to improve the little things that I think are wrong with the haircut. Or not, should I say wrong? Wrong is the wrong word. The little things that I think can be improved in the haircut, and the little things that I feel can make the haircut better. Because the haircut, to me, to be honest, is actually decent. It's actually good. If he walked out like this, he wouldn't be upset. But I know refining will make the haircut better. And let me tell you something else refining does. Refining also makes the haircut last longer. Because if his hair grows out smoother, because the fade is smoother, it means that haircut will last longer. The same as shaping him up. If I give him a more prominent, sharper shape up and go over the shape up quite a few times, that shape up will last longer, which will also mean that the haircut lasts longer. And that's also why it's important to refine the haircut. I'll tell you a story. The other day, a client came to me. Well, I say the other day, I've been cutting him for years. And sometimes I explain to him the haircut. And the other day he went to another barber, and he's done this a few times. And he came back to me and said to me, I don't know what it is, but every time I go to another barber, the haircut doesn't last so long and it just doesn't grow out right. And I said to him, yeah, because that's what I've always told you. It's important to refine and go over the fade, making sure that it is smooth, because when the hair grows out, you will feel like after maybe 2-3 days, oh, the haircut's gone, because it's not that smooth. The fade isn't that smooth. When you walk out, it looks cool, but as it's growing out, it's not growing out that smooth. And that's why you can always tell a good haircut from the way it grows out. Sometimes I get clients come to my chair and I look at the shape up, I look at the haircut and I'm like, oh, this was a good haircut, just because of the way it's grown out. And sometimes it's growing out really blotchy and I'm like, I can see the haircut wasn't that good, and or should I say it wasn't that good? It wasn't that it wasn't that good, he just didn't It's that they didn't really just go over it enough times and refine it well. So yeah, that's why it's important to refine and go over the haircut and make sure that fade is smooth and the hair is smooth. So now I'm just scissoring it just to get into the right shape to sit well in the style that he's wearing it in. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm looking at everything all around and I'm happy with it. Well, another tip before I go, guys, when you refine someone's haircut, the key thing to do is step back from the hair. Look at it with fresh eyes and just look all around and see what could be improved, and that will help you in the refining process as well. I'm happy with this haircut. You may not see it in his face, but he's happy with this haircut. Trust me, and he's ready to leave. You've been in a cut with SliderCuts. Hope you've enjoyed this haircut. Also, guys, while you're in the cut, if you like this haircut, you don't have to wait till the end of the video. Please like it and subscribe right now so you can see all the videos that I do weekly, telling you how to cut hair, how to run business, and much more. So you don't have to wait to the end of the haircut or the end of the video to like and subscribe. If you like what you're seeing right now, subscribe and like, and don't forget to click that bell notification so that you can be notified every time I post a video, which is weekly. There you have it, an in-depth high top skin fade tutorial. If you like this video, please guys, subscribe and let me know in the comments. And if there's any videos or tutorials you want me to do, let me know and I'll get round to it. You've been in a cut with SliderCuts.